Hey.
Let me get back to you. Actually, no, I'm going to pull it up on my tablet here. Okay.
What's
Awesome.
up?
There. Now I can see the chat. One second, we're almost ready, and then we're going to play another video from yesterday. It was yesterday, right?
Yeah, it was from last night. I forgot. I had to go find it. Somebody in the group asked me about it, and so I had to go find it. I didn't have it on the other one. So I found it and was like, "Oh my god, this is good."
Yeah,
And then
I could. Go ahead.
we can read Salsy's tweet.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I forgot about that. All right. So you want me to just go ahead and go right into the video?
I would read Salsy's tweet first.
Okay.
Because that's what I woke up to this morning.
Okay. Are we talking is KJ inciting violence?
Yeah.
Okay. Here, let me share the screen again. There we go. Nothing personal in there, right? Okay. So it is coming through. Okay. So yeah, so Salty, Tati's lawyer, posted this about 11 hours ago regarding a post from Katie, which I will pull up in just a moment. But he says, when was this? Is KJ inciting violence against my clients to retaliate against them for their testimony? Let me know ASAP so we can see if we should be filing an emergency motion to assure our client's safety. This is an extremely serious matter. And here is what she had posted that had him all concerned. She says, imagine if I filed a court document claiming residency in one state, then claimed residency in another state at the same time in another court. The internet would call for my arrest and have me in prison. And someone else had, one of her followers replied with, I wish that we could just go and snatch him up by the neck and throw him in a jail cell and throw the key away, put nothing's ever that easy, even though in this case it should be. It literally, or it really sucks. And I think that this person was talking about Trump, though. But still, it's questionable. So, yeah. Right.
I need to let everybody know that usually with the chat, because I can barely see it, it's not in front of my face. I have my thing, but I want everybody to know that if I see your...
Yeah, it's the only thing that sucks about StreamYard, especially if you're not like hosting. You can't use the chat that's on the same screen as everything else.
Yeah, I have like 3 different things I'm looking at right now, trying to be able to see it. It shouldn't be... Kess says, hello everyone, 3:30 comes early, but I'll listen for as long as I can. Keep my eyes open. It shouldn't be that long. This video is nothing.
Yeah, it's a short video. So, okay, well, let's get to it then. Like we said, this was part of her video from last night, or not the one that we played earlier that she deleted, but the second one that I believe is still up on her Katie Joy Vlogs channel.
They want to make an example out of you. They want you to not support me so that if you do support me, you'll get harassed. Like, look what's happening to Lori. Lori's irrelevant. She's not my friend. I don't know anything about Lori. She's not my best friend. I don't have a relationship with Lori, but she's somehow now some sort of a co-conspirator with me, which is not true. It's irrelevant. And it's all just to make an example out of Lori because she had the audacity to stand up for herself. It's sick. Lori has been trashed. Creep Show Art like dedicated a video to her, like defaming her. It's terrible. Anyway, I'm gonna go. I'm done with tonight. I know, they're all the same. So if you don't like me, don't like me, but don't tell me to be less liberal. Don't tell me to not care. Like, I don't care. I'm at this point where it's like, I'm not, the vintage Katie is back. I am not placating. I'm not going to pretend to be less me. I'm not going to listen to my YouTube manager and be like, you should do things that don't upset your audience. Dude, everything I do upsets my audience. Like, no.
Wow. So remember when she got her YouTube manager and she was bragging about it?
She was so happy.
Oh my God, it was amazing. And now she doesn't want to listen to him? What the hell?
And then she's almost like mocking the manager, like, well, maybe you should try like posting content that doesn't upset anyone. It's like, dude, no. Like, really? First of all, I mean, I don't think that the YouTube manager would honestly expect content to not upset anyone. I mean, they got to know better than that by now. But I mean, I'm sure that they meant it like, well, maybe not go out of your way to try to piss people off.
Right. I mean, she's like poking the bear. Devilment says Lori is irrelevant. Question mark, question mark, question mark. Did KJ really just say that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. She's trying to make it like Lori was nobody, but here's the thing. Lori came, she made up a story and she acted like she flipped sides and she made friends with people and she tried to get them to say stuff, and then she flipped again and said she never meant that. Why would somebody go through all that if they weren't even friends?
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, and then like she just she's been throwing her under the bus ever since. I mean, I understand. I mean, she's trying to save her ass. It's a wise thing to do, but still, I mean, her other subs, like her ride or die subs, must see this and wonder,
Well, really, I mean, a lot of her ride or die subs have been gone for a couple months, which it makes me question all of them, because I feel like Lori was here and she was trying to manipulate everybody into just letting go of Katie because it was too negative. It was too negative. She was doing narrative, you know?
Yeah.
So it makes me question everybody at this point. I mean, really, I see the lengths that Katie is willing to go through, in my opinion.
Exactly. Yeah. And it just not just that. I mean, Lori even sat there like acting like she flipped sides or something for a while. You know, like she could suddenly, finally Katie Joy did her wrong and she, turned on her. And between that and then the whole detox thing, it's, I don't know. You start thinking everyone's kind of a double agent or something. Just
right. It's hard to wrap my mind around. You know what I mean? The whole double agent thing. Like,
yeah.
I don't know. I'm just here. All I want to do is show what we have in the group, and that's my goal. And anything beyond that is just it's all shocking to me, really.
Yeah.
That mafia style intimidation type mentality,
Yeah, it even like when I was really doing the vaccines and everything a lot, that like social media coverage, no one really, I mean, we all hit sock accounts to get into the groups, but no one really no one really created like another persona and tried to, like, I don't know, I guess like sneak, kind of play undercover cop or anything. No one went that far, mostly because we didn't want to manipulate the conversation at all. If they're going to say crazy shit, we wanted them to say crazy shit on their own. We don't want to help them. So, I mean, even in this area, whatever, it just seems like that's really far length to go over this, over anything really, but over this.
Well, and the narrative Katie's been spitting out about, she doesn't have any sock accounts. Do we have screenshots of her admitting when the Sophie stuff was going on? We have screenshots of her admitting that she had sock accounts. So she can't say that. Like, that's not the truth. She's not an innocent little lamb with no time on her hands. You know what I mean? I'm sorry, but in my opinion, from what I've seen and the evidence I've gathered, yeah.
Yeah, she just, and I think she knows that she's gaslighting half the time, and she goes out of her way to do it because she knows that if she does that, she's going to inspire other people to kind of, I don't know, lose their cool or whatever, and that's only going to make her look more like a victim in her mind.
Right.
And I think that she does a lot of this stuff on purpose.
Right. I could see that. I mean, she's talked about it in the past.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Well, are there topics that you can avoid? Anyways, don't feel bad about defending me. Defend me. Go for it. Have fun. Like, don't feel like just because you defend me that they can make an example out of you, because we'll make an example out of them. We will. We'll prove to everyone what they're doing to you guys. Don't be quiet. Don't be shy. Speak your truth. I always used to say, like, don't feel like you have to defend me. But now I'm saying, like, if you're seeing this bullshit and you feel compelled, you can defend me.
Okay, I want to.
You can speak out against.
I want to know how they're going to prove anything. How are they going to prove that people are harassing them? Because I don't harass anybody. I don't DM people except for the people in my circle.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's the thing. I mean, first, everyone has to agree on the same definition of harassment, and I don't think most people do in this case. And even then, like you said, how do you prove this? I mean, how do you prove that something is done with an intent to harass rather than in genuine intent? I mean, it just seems nuts. I mean,
my dude's in the chat. He says, "Can I please defend you?" Yes, of course, babe.
he said, "Oh, I see him. Okay. Oh, that's not a nice name."
Dirtbag. I gave him that name. That is the best name for him. Trust and believe that.
Okay, then. Hi, Dirtbag. Nice to meet you.
Against bullying, you can tell the trolls to go away. You can tell them they're not welcome. The reason why they are so invested here is because they feel like they can, and that you guys aren't going to respond because I've told you not to, and they've manipulated that and they have pounced on that. So I just say, I have your back. You're not going to get harassed. And if you do, you just send me a DM and you tell me, and I'll put them on blast. They're not going to mess with you. We'll take care of it. And they're not welcome here anymore. And I'm sure.
How can she guarantee that, Erin? How can she guarantee that?
Of course, I'm not. I was on mute. Yeah, I was wondering that too. I was just about to pause it myself and say, how can she? I got your back or whatever. How is she going to do that? I mean, how is she going to make everything better for the people out there defending her? I mean, it's almost kind of Trumpish. I mean, I hate to say that. But I mean, with everything she's been saying about Trump the past few days, by her narrative, what she's doing is kind of Trumpish. So.
Right. Well, I have a video. I have a clip of her talking about. Oh my gosh, did it just leave me? Her talking about Janelle Eason, right? And saying, somebody said, she was on I'm pretty sure an Instagram live, and she was talking about, somebody brought up in the chat, that's what it was, and said something about them. And she said, I don't like her anymore. I don't watch her, and you're not going to either, or something. Like, that's not verbatim. I'll find it and I'll post it. But it was like she was telling them, because I'm not going to, you're not going to either.
Yep.
What the hell?
And it was just like maybe a week ago, maybe a little over a week ago, she was talking about Unirock, but she was telling like her viewers, I'm not going to tell you guys not to go watch Unirock or whatever, not to sub to them. I don't care. That's cool. Watch whoever you want. I won't tell you who to like or who to not like. Well, past few days has been like kind of full of, if you're a follower or supporter of them, then you can't be here,
Really?
Yeah.
She's been, and she said, oh God, she screamed in the one video, which I wish we did have it up, but she screamed that if you were like this, just unfollow me. Unfollow me.
Yep.
It's just crazy. First off, when I was young, I was taught, how many people in the chat were taught this? You don't talk to people about religion and politics.
Like bartending, yeah. Bartending, that's like one of the first rules you learn. Never talk about religion or politics. Just don't.
This is the same thing. If she can't, it's kind of she's disrespecting her conservative followers by pushing her narrative and what she believes onto them.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Did you want me to start playing this one or?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, all right.
Bullied by these people anymore, and you shouldn't be bullied because you support
me. Oh, wait, shoot.
Or that you like me. The only.
Can you hear that?
Yeah.
I might have screwed up. Wait, let me just do this again real quick. I think I forgot to hit the audio box. The thing I was telling you to, don't forget to do that.
Yeah, you have that in my head too. Dana Morgan says, like she sent everyone to Nate until he read her first response to the lawsuit and didn't say exactly what she wanted him to say. What was her response after that? Did she tell people not to watch him? Because I didn't watch it.
Apparently, well, he talked about it on Unirock. When Unirock had him on the live stream. Apparently, I don't know if it had to do with the reading or because he was going on Unirock's live stream. I think it might have been both. But I guess supposedly, like that morning, she sent him a message, whatever, saying goodbye. Like that's it. Like she dumped him like through a message that said goodbye. I guess I don't know.
Wow.
Hey, Queen. Oh wait, that might not have been for me. Okay. All right. Ready?
Yep.
I'm saying you're not going to be bullied by these people anymore, and you shouldn't be bullied because you support me or that you like me. The only reason they're doing that is to make it look like, and they're doing it to ruin my business, and they're doing it to ruin my credibility. And I don't bend to bullies, and I'm not going to bend to bullies, and I'm never going to bend to bullies, and you're not going to ruin me. So I love you guys, and thanks for hanging out with me tonight. And you haters are not welcome here, but I love my subscribers, and that's who I am focusing on from here on out. Bye.
Narrative. I love you right now, but I'm going to yell at you when you piss me off. So it's kind of like you got to think about the cult leader type stuff. She has invested a lot of time digging into cult leaders and learning about cult leaders and watching cult leaders and she kind of acts that way. She kind of will browbeat them and then say I love you.
Yeah, exactly. Raymond, you might be right. I know that she told Unirock about it on the live stream. Maybe I just assumed that it was because of his live stream. I'm not sure why exactly she told Nate goodbye, but you could be right. Could be that. Or Raymond had said, from what I understand, KJ parted ways with Nate because Nate had Emily on his channel.
I could see that. I could see her not being happy that he was engaging with Emily. For some reason, she absolutely hates Emily, in my opinion. I think, again, it's another beautiful, smart, successful woman. Instead of yeah, she's doing what she does with beautiful, smart, successful women. Emily's a badass, right? She's probably smarter, in my opinion. She's definitely smarter when it comes to the law, obviously. And just because she gets a little salty, I mean, Katie's went after her from what, day 1? Day 2.
Yeah. Yes, from like the first day that Emily even talked about the way and it was a Tati and Katie lawsuit in which when Katie started talking crap about her after Emily covered that, because before that I'm pretty sure Emily first covered the Swanson, where Swanson suing Tati, like that lawsuit, and I don't remember Katie going after Emily after that, so it was after the Katie Tati one.
Right. I wonder if I can find anywhere that she might have praised Emily at some point for her coverage. I don't know.
I doubt it.
Yeah.
So maybe, yeah. I don't know. Because even when she covered the Swanson one, I know that she covered that one first, but Katie wasn't mentioned or anything much then. It wasn't until after the filing with the defamation lawsuit, that's when Emily started kind of seeing similarities between the two lawsuits and when she started talking about it like that. So, and I think ever since then, I think Katie's really been kind of pissed off about it, because Emily was one of the first people to come out and say, her source might have been Swanson,
Right.
There's too many things here that are too similar between these cases, and the information, how the certain information shouldn't be known among the two cases, but they are, and they kind of mesh with each other.
Right.
Yeah, she is going after Emily more than anyone else.
She is.
Tip Apple says it.
I'm telling you, it's because she's smart, beautiful. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
She's got that life, that Tati life. We'll call it that.
Yep. Did you want to maybe watch some of the Instagram one, or?
Yeah, go ahead. You guys up for that?
Let me just get it up here.
You know what's funny is I twirl my hair too. My mama always twirled her hair. I twirl my hair, but see, I don't pull it hard when I do it. I do it really, really soft. And since I'm a stylist, I don't rip it out. But I did get that from my mom. It's so funny. My mama always used to do that, and I do it now too.
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and start it.
Okay.
Hi guys. How is
If you guys can't hear it, let me know.
Are you guys safe? Are you guys okay? I hope you guys are okay. It has been a day. I had all these plans to do all these videos, and I got only one done because I was watching the news all day and was on Twitter all day watching. I hope you guys are safe. Very rough day for a lot of people. And I just want to say something. I am not a news channel, but you know what? Like, I do have a platform and I do have a voice. And if I see things going on and happening and it hurts my heart, and I see basically terrorism happening, I'm going to speak out. And I'm not here to tell you how to believe, but I'm not going to be one of those channels that just gives you sugar-coated, really major things happening in the world just because it's yours. Because there's a lot of things in life I don't like, but I still have to deal with them. And I think it's just really horrific what's happened today. And that's it. And look at that. My gray hair. I need to get my hair dyed. I got a gray streak. Well, yeah, it's buffering for you, I'm sure. All right. You know, it's disconcerting because when I speak out about things, I am not coming from a place of I don't like you and I think you're wrong and I think you're a terrible person. But if I see things, people broke into our Capitol. That's not okay. They literally broke into our Capitol with arms. Our elected officials were there to do their job. Our elected officials should not fear for their lives. People we've elected to serve in office should not fear for their lives. Cops should not have to fear for their lives. No one going to work should have to fear for their lives. There's a lot of ways that you can get things done, and bringing guns to the Capitol and cutting and smashing windows and breaking in, it's unlawful. And that's not how you handle things because you're sick of it. We're not children. When we're sick of things, we don't have a temper tantrum and break into the Capitol and try to overthrow the government. There were people interviewed on the street saying that they were doing this because they were starting a revolution. A woman was shot by police for trying to break into the chambers. This is not about a stolen election. This is like people are unhinged because people are being fed a lie. And the fact that when I speak out, I lose 60 subscribers because I dared to tell you guys that, the election wasn't stolen. It's a lie. Actually, I'm really liking this part right here. Sorry.
She's not even paying attention to what she's saying. Actually, I'm talking about something that's so serious. I'm talking about terrorists, but I really like this gray part in my hair.
Mm-hmm. Yep. It's so serious. It's such an ordeal for her, and damn it, no one else is paying attention. Oh shit, I got a gray hair.
Right. I want to address the Lori. She says, "This is only my opinion, not facts. I believe Emily was hired by Toddy to clean up." Here's my opinion. My opinion is, by you saying that, or by anybody saying that, you are questioning Emily's integrity as a lawyer. You're questioning her ethics, and
go ahead. Sorry.
That's really that can cause damage. I unless you have the facts and evidence about it, you shouldn't put that out there, honestly.
Yeah, and I think it too. It kind of it kind of ruins any confidence people have in our legal system. I mean, you look at everything that's happened the past few days or whatever, and I mean, like it or not, there was not this widespread election fraud going on. It wasn't happening. But by telling people so adamantly that it did happen and it happened on this large scale, that you basically eroded faith in our democracy, in our election process. And that's going to affect us for years to come. So, I mean, by you just caring only about your own personal selfish narrative, you kind of chip away at any faith that a system in our life, in our society holds. And I don't know, I think that can cause a lot of shit.
I agree. I think Emily is pretty fair. I think that Katie has come after her and she has done the Twitter tantrums, which I never even thought about that until Emily said it, and it really sticks to me. Like it really, I've seen it now. Like I understand what that is now. And I believe that Katie has attacked her, and she's attacked her for what? I think Emily's been very fair. Now, if somebody said to Katie if tweeted to Katie all the things that Katie's tweeted about Emily, what do you think her reaction would be? She would do a freaking live stream over it, calling her out, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I mean, and the thing, it's undeniable too, because all Emily does is she reads what is stated in the court filings. That's it. She's not getting statements from anyone else. She's not telling anyone else's narrative on Twitter or anything else. She's just reading and explaining and covering what Salty has put in these filings, and what Katie's lawyer has put in these filings. So that's it. And this is so, I mean, and she's not even, I mean, maybe she might give an opinion on how well something might be believed or effective it will be, but that's it. She's not even giving much opinion or whatever on which side's right here, just, yeah, I don't think you can get any more objective really than Emily.
Right. Exactly.
Can you tell me something, B. Hartley? Did the Democrats break windows to get into the Capitol and bring their guns to the Capitol? I don't remember that happening in the last 4 years. In fact, I don't remember this happening at all in my entire life. And if you can't see the reality of this situation, what happened today is terrorism. It's not anything else than terrorism. If the Democrats would have done this, you would have called it terrorism. You just don't want to call it terrorism because it's happening by Republicans. I don't care if a Democrat did this. I don't care if a Republican did this. The people that did this are terrorists. No one. Oh, you know who burnt down cities and people's businesses in Minneapolis? You know who did that? It wasn't Antifa. And this is not Antifa. Are you guys so delusional? Antifa wants Trump out of the office. Why would Antifa break into the Capitol? He wants Trump gone. They're not going to stop this. This is
all right, this may seem silly or petty, but did she just did she just assign a gender to Antifa? I mean, she's saying he wants.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. They jumped right out at me the first time I heard it. I thought it was weird.
How do we know anything? Isn't Antifa a anonymous type entity? Well, I don't know anything about them, so.
And technically, Antifa is, I guess you could say, like a creation of like the other side. I mean, there are people who pretty much protested certain things or whatever, and they were just nicknamed Antifa as anti-fascists. And then people who were considered anti-fascists kind of adopted the name. And I guess that there are some loosely based organizations kind of sort of forming, but they pretty much, they're taking on the name because it's already been thrown out there, I guess. I don't know. But there's like no structurized organizations, not like Black Lives Matter or anything. They don't have anything set up like that. At least last I'd known, they didn't.
So how does she, and I want to just clarify, I didn't say him, I said how does she know who him is? Or, you know.
That's what I was wondering when I heard that. I'm like, who is she talking about?
I've never looked into them. Like, I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't watch the news. I'm really, anti any of that. I learned about COVID on Twitter. I watch videos on, I know that sounds crazy, but Twitter is honestly the best place to really hear what's going on in the world. I learned about COVID and about the people that were reporting on COVID and the videos that I was watching, where the Chinese government the police were locking people in buildings and because they were infected and they were not letting them out. Like, that's the stuff that I saw, the real live stuff that was going on, and the people that were reporting it were disappearing. Like, that's some crazy shit. I'll watch that over news anytime.
Right, yeah, I hear you.
But I'm not going to tell somebody that they're wrong. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not educated enough on any of that to say anything.
I mean, I think anyone can pretty much give an opinion, but I mean, I think when it comes to anything that you're discussing with someone, whether you agree or not, I don't know. I think it's smarter to ask questions. You know,
Right.
even if
That's
you
what,
don't agree, just ask questions, because if you don't agree, then maybe you can at least learn how or why the other side got to where they are. I mean, I don't know.
yeah, I absolutely agree with you. And I'm all about, like, I don't have to, uh, you know what? I'll use Call McNutt just because I don't think he would care that I'm using this example, but him and I were talking about a certain topic, right? And he
Hmm.
had one stance on it and I had another stance on it. We did not agree. But here's the thing. I listened to what he said. He listened to what I said, and we decided together that we would come back to that conversation later, right? And then,
Hmm.
really ponder it. I believe in pondering things
Yes.
before
Yeah.
reacting. Like, first educate yourself. If I don't understand it or I don't know, I'm going to do everything I can to educate myself first. Then I'm going to ponder what I've learned, and then I'm going to take in the other person's um opinions and thoughts to consideration, and then I will get back to the conversation. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and even pondering also too allows you to not react based on your first initial emotions too. I mean, by taking some time before you respond, your feelings kind of calm down or whatever, no matter what it is, and I think your I don't know, rationalized thinking kind of is allowed to take hold too. So you become less combative. Also, at least that's what I find with myself, like all the
Well, yeah.
time.
If I first respond out of like yesterday, perfect example. Yesterday is the perfect example. I heard that Joe did that stream and
Hmm.
talked about Flossie and her child, right? I was
Right.
angry. And so, you know what I did? I reacted. And I had already pondered my reaction long ago when I told everybody that if you bring Flossie into anything, that's it, right? I decided
Right.
then that I would deal with whatever it was. And that way, if I ever heard about it happening, I could react. But it
Hmm.
still was out of emotion. It wasn't calculated, right?
Right. Right. Yeah.
So yeah, I get it. Trust me. Trust me. I can be extremely emotionally driven. I have to rein it in many times. Just
Yeah.
stop, breathe, and think. There's an app
Yep.
called Stop, Breathe, and Think, right?
That's a good idea. Yeah.
It's important because
Hmm.
you can't take stuff back. Like, you can't take your words back, and words can hurt. You can use words as a weapon.
Hmm. Oh
And
yeah, absolutely.
I see that happening a lot with our friend here that we're speaking
Hmm.
about.
Yeah, the shock value words and I can't. I mean, I get that you want, even when you're pushing a narrative, you kind of want to create an image for people or whatever. But I mean, it's just at some point it becomes just flat out lying almost. I mean, if something is like not at all serious, but you talk it up like it's like the biggest travesty in the world, then you are effectively lying to that person.
Right.
It's Trump's face. A woman lost her life today because he incited a riot about a false narrative. I was here in Minnesota when the riots were happening, and it wasn't the Black Lives Matter people that was burning shit down. It was the Proud Boys, the KKK, and other white supremacists. This isn't political. Terrorism isn't political. Murder isn't political. If you guys, I don't understand how people can't see that this is terrorism. If this were being done by, say, someone in Iran, you would call it terrorism. But because it's being done by white people who support Trump, it's not terrorism. They're just fed up. No, you don't break into the Capitol and try to take the government over and try to assassinate people. They were coming, I think they were going for Pence. I think they wanted to murder Pence because Trump tweeted about how he was a coward and he wouldn't overthrow the government.
Quick question. She says this, and she carries on with this narrative about how she thinks that they wanted to murder Pence, and now they're going to kill Biden. She's going to say that shortly. Has this been said anywhere, like officially or even unofficially, like in media? I mean, were any of these claims or suggestions made by either media or officials, in government who are supposed to monitor this, or is this just something Katie thought of and is running with? That's what I'm curious.
I don't watch the news, so I cannot answer that question. I could do some research to figure out. I'm sure somebody in the chat would know.
Yeah.
But I want to know if she didn't. So here's how I look at it. She brought up the riots there, and she said that they were the people she named, right?
Right.
She figured that out because of a conversation with somebody, maybe, I don't know. She didn't witness it herself. So she basically got secondhand information and then spread it to a bunch of people without checking her facts or going to see for herself. She just took it as truth. That's crazy.
Well, right. And I mean, don't get me wrong. I have no doubt that there's like controlled opposition agency in all things political, whatever. But I mean, that's not all that was. Even if that is some of what happened during the summer, that wasn't all of it. Because I mean, like it or not, you have just people with selfish intentions who will exploit situations like this for personal gain, and they exist on all sides of the aisle. I mean, that's just the way it is. So if there were there was some controlled opposition in these riots, that wasn't all that there was. There was also just bad actors on the other side or on every side. So, but what gets me though more than anything is she never left her house throughout all of this. Like you're saying, she's relying on secondhand information. From my understanding, she got this information because her friend from college saw a sticker on the back of a truck. Like that was like her main source of information there. And maybe I think the governors allegedly said that that there were quite a few arrests from out of state, but most of those arrests from out of state were like from like Wisconsin, or I mean, it was a state like just south of them. Actually, I think Wisconsin's on the side. I don't know, but so I mean, it kind of makes sense that people would drive that short of a distance for riots rather than driving from like Pennsylvania or something. So I don't know, but she never left her house. She was never there. She never covered any of these. So for her to say anything for fact is just, I think that that's irresponsible.
I agree.
So.
And he wouldn't put the election into it. When Trump tweeted about Pence, do you know what he was inciting to his people? He called Pence a coward. He called the man that has stood behind him for 4 years a coward, threw him to the wolves, and then the wolves went to the Capitol to get the coward. He was on Twitter calling him a coward. He said Mike Pence is a coward because he will not overturn this election. Those people ran into the Capitol, broke into it with guns. They ran to the Senate floor. They were looking for one person and one person only. They were looking to assassinate Pence. There was guns, lots of them. There was lots of guns. If it doesn't disturb you that they were trying to kill our senators, people had rifles, people had guns, there was gunshots, there was 2 explosives found at the Capitol. Yeah, there's pictures of people with guns. It's all over Twitter. They found 2 pipe bombs.
I just want to point out, where'd it go? Oh, chronically intrigued. Why is she scolding us? And so many of these videos is just that. She just goes on like these 40-minute tirades of scolding her viewers. And whether it's on members only chat or not, she just sits there scolding people. It's crazy.
And Trump threw Pence to the wolves, and they stormed the Capitol. And now his closest allies and his aides are quitting. Is this going to make you guys wake up? His aides are quitting. People that have worked for him for his entire presidency are quitting because he incited an attack on the government today. There were lots of guns. They found at least 2 explosives. Joe Biden needs to be protected. They're going to try to assassinate him. They're going to try to kill anyone for Trump. There were guns. There was people dressed in camouflage that had fatigues on that were not in the military. That's how like these people were. I just need to run downstairs real quick. They would have killed anyone if they had the chance. Okay. They were like chasing a police officer, like running him down.
Hey.
A Capitol police officer just doing his job.
Yes.
Her saying they would have killed anyone if they had the chance. Mm-hmm. How many people? I watched one video, okay, where the guards were standing there and they were trying to get through that door where the woman was shot, and they did not kill those guards. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So her statement, she's making that as fact, and there were they had a chance. If that was a fact, they had a chance to kill the officers that were there. I don't know if they're officers, but they were dressed like that. But they had a chance to kill them. So I think her statement is false.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, especially to say it was such confirmation is absolutely false. I think things could have progressed to that point, just, if things were allowed to progress and get worse. I mean, that's just how things happen in a mob. But yeah, from what we saw, from everything we've seen that day, even the more outrageous behavior, it doesn't look like they were there with the intention to murder anyone. So, and maybe beat the shit out of some people, but I don't know. But yeah, and it seems like she's just really trying to start a whole bunch of shit by saying that. I mean, she's basically calling this whole group of voters in our country like murderers, ready to murder anyone to, assert their will.
That means half the people in the country.
Well,
half the people, basically.
Like I think it's like over 50% of voters are actually registered independent. And between the two parties, it's and depending on the year, it's kind of even, really. So it's something like 33% or something like that.
Okay, well,
no, wait.
and
I think,
33%, whatever. She's still
yeah,
saying that they're, that's a huge assumption for a class of people just because they are a
right.
certain, you know
Hmm.
what I mean?
And I mean, and also too, I mean, not for nothing, look back to when Trump won the election 4 years ago. I mean, look at what happened that night. I lost a few friends on Facebook because of that, because I didn't agree with the riots and everything, and the reaction of, the people, I guess, on the left, on our side or whatever. I mean, I was a Bernie supporter, not more weight. I was never a Hillary supporter. But anyways, um, I didn't agree with the people acting out because Trump won. It's just, I don't know. So I don't know. It just seems like when it comes to elections and everything, just everyone, not everyone, but everyone gets very judgmental, and people just get too involved. I don't know. And she does, and she's using this. I feel like she knows this is happening, and she's using this situation and everyone's anger about it, both on their side and the other side, to just create viewers and clicks.
Well, and you got to think that right now, okay, we've been in a pandemic for almost a year.
Hmm.
We are already in a state of what the fuck, right?
Yeah.
Like, we are all fear driven right now. I don't give a fuck what you say. There's fear inside all of us because we don't know what's going to happen, what's going to come of this virus, and if life is going to get back to what it used to be, right? So we're
Yeah.
all in what the fuck. We're, you know, states are being locked down again. It's like we're dealing with something that we have never dealt with, and we're not dealing with it very well. We are isolated. A lot of people don't have families, so they're not talking to anybody, or they're on the computer, and it's just we're at a very heightened state of what the fuck. So somebody like her going on there and using uh making statements as fact when she doesn't necessarily back it up can be
Yeah.
very dangerous. That's why I don't believe in the news, right? I don't believe in the news because I don't believe there's really a fair news source here that
Oh
we're
no, God,
really going to get
no.
the truth from, right? So if something's going on in my city, I would rather get in my car and just go and kind of check it out than assume or believe what I'm told. Do you get what I'm
Right.
saying?
No, absolutely. And I mean, I think, in my opinion, there are some media sources you can kind of trust, but I mean, yeah, it's definitely none of the mainstream media. Absolutely. I mean, you're more independent media, maybe, but
Exactly. That's who I would watch.
yeah,
If I had to watch anything, that's what it would be.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. I trust them more. I don't know. But I mean, but you're right, though. You're absolutely right. I mean, just, you're so right with just the everything going on today, and how everyone's, kind of stuck in isolation, and no one knows when this is going to end, and it's been going on a while now, so it's really starting to wear on people, and then people are wondering, well, even if it does end, will it go back to normal? It feels like we're in this like bad nightmare, and it's just going to drag out. It's not going to get worse, but it's not going to get better for a while. So, and then you have people kind of stuck at home a lot, and they're on the computer and everything, and then they're just they're craving some sort of interaction. So they might be less likely to hold someone accountable for the things they're saying, or to want to see some evidence or proof. They're just gonna want the community, I think. I know that's how I feel a lot of the times. So I imagine others do too. And that's, I mean, it just feels, I don't know. It feels really kind of taking advantage of it almost. I mean, I'm not saying she's doing it consciously, but that's what's happening.
Well, she seems to make it about her, right?
Yeah.
We are all watching this happen, so we're all going through it. Whether you live in the United States or not, people from other countries are seeing what's happening, so they're going through it as well,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
Just like if a terrorist attacked in another country, like 9/11, we feel it and we go through it because we've lived through it. It's the same type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So she's not like the end all be all of this is happening to her. It's happening to
Right.
everyone. And until she can realize that it is happening to everyone, then she's going to be defensive and yelling at people. And I hate how she goes after people and tells them that you're brainwashed or whatever the fuck she says, right? That's just like
Yeah.
saying people don't have a right to think for themselves.
Well, and I mean, I don't think she's qualified to make that determination on people. I mean, you can kind of see and pick up on whether or not someone has subscribed to another person's narrative or a certain narrative. But brainwash, yeah, it's another shock value word, rather than, oh, you've been lied to or you've been manipulated or you got blinders on. Brainwash is just, it's almost like a mental diagnosis. And
Right.
yeah, I think that's a step too far, maybe, especially when you have the platform that she has. I mean, as much as I hate to admit it, she is kind of a public figure. And believe me, it's a petty thing within me, maybe, but I hate to admit that, but she is. And she does not hold that power responsibly. So she's not a proper steward of that power at all.
Have you thought that maybe that's why you hate to admit that? Because she's not. Because
Yeah, maybe.
it's scary and uh damaging.
Hmm. Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, and then to just like manipulate it for your own selfish needs or wants, not even needs, but wants. I mean, just, you don't, I, you don't realize the kind of game you're playing there. So
Tiff Waffle says, I just don't understand the hate that KJ has for Republicans. Not every Republican is going to be marching on the White House, are they? Question mark. She criminalized
mhm.
so many people with that statement. That's my issue. Absolutely, she did.
Well, and and I mean this jokingly, but it's not every Republican she feels this way about, because she went on glorifying George W. Bush, not what, the other night, I think.
Right.
Maybe it's even this video. I don't think it is. I think it might have been the night before or something. But I mean, yeah, she just. I mean, I can guarantee you that like 20 years, or maybe not 20, like 10 years ago, she was the first one there to call him a warmonger and everything else. And I'm not saying either opinion's wrong. I'm not saying that. But now all of a sudden, he was like one of the coolest, nicest people. He was a genuinely good guy, and I bet you he's best friends with Obama. That's the shit she was saying. I kid you not. So, I mean, it's not every Republican, but yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right, because she no longer views the Republican Party as like the party a lot of people see them as. She's just lumped the whole Republican base into being these right wing conservatives. That's what she sees when she sees Republican.
I haven't done any research. I would have to do some research, but the lady that was shot and killed, it was mentioned in the chat. She basically kind of dedicated her life to the military
Yeah.
and to service for the country. So, um, Katie called her a terrorist. You can call her a terrorist if you choose to, but I choose to like uh send her thank you for your service, right? We don't know what she went through. We don't know where her mind was because of that service. And I don't know. Regardless, I don't wish anybody harm, period. It just
Right.
doesn't,
Exactly.
it doesn't, I don't celebrate somebody dying. It's just not, regardless of what the circumstances were. It's just
Hmm.
not something that I do. But
Exactly.
that's not to say that she wasn't wrong for being there and doing what she was doing. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that, You can look at it in a different way. It doesn't have to be such a horrible thing. You can think about her service to the country, you know?
Right. Yeah. Her life shouldn't be judged solely on her death.
Right.
So.
This is the party that is supposed to be so pro police, and these people were running down the police. There was a video on Twitter of a police officer running scared for his life from these people. Like, that's, nobody should go to work and fear they're going to die. Breaking into the Capitol. And a woman got shot and killed. They weren't going to, once they got in, they put gas masks on all of the senators and all of the congressmen and women. The Capitol has secret tunnels and like secret places where they can't be found because of stuff like this. And they were put into places and hidden with gas masks on their faces, removed from the Capitol through secret tunnels, underground. Had those people not been moved, they would have murdered them today. They would have murdered our senators. They would have murdered our congressmen and women. And a revolution, I don't care who you support. This isn't politics. This is Trumpism. It's beyond crazy. I'm trying to imagine what it must have been like for like my senators. So I'm thinking about like Amy Klobuchar and Tina Smith. Amy's a mother. So is Tina. They just went to go to work today. And they were escorted out of their jobs, fearing for their lives. I've already lost so many subscribers for speaking out, but I don't believe that anyone that supports this should follow me. If you truly follow me, you should know that this is everything I'm against. If you support breaking into our Capitol, if you support going with arms, if you support people trying to overthrow our government and trying to assassinate our senators, our vice president, you should not follow me because that's unlawful. It's supporting terrorism. Even the top Republicans who have stood behind him are calling him out. Do you know who Rand Paul from Kentucky? Do you know who Rand Paul is? Rand Paul. He freaking has been like obsessed with Trump, right? Rand Paul spoke out against him. Rand Paul said this election was not stolen. The vote was truthful. Yeah, exactly, Trista. If you are supporting this, you're what the violence this summer? I spoke out against it this summer. You guys are ignorant if you think that I just do this because it's fun. When my city was burning down this summer, I spoke out about it. But guess what? It wasn't Black Lives Matter that was burning down our city. It was Freaking Proud Boys, the KKK. The senators that have been kissing his ass for 4 years are condemning Trump right now. Condemning him. What does that tell you? His aides are quitting. They're quitting. All of his support is gone. It was Proud Boys. Thank you, Gabber Dabber. The Proud Boys were driving around the neighborhoods. One of my college friends lives in Minneapolis, and there were Proud Boys and the KKK driving. They had. Do you know how many times someone with white supremacist ties was pulled over in Minnesota, and they were found with pipe bombs and semi-automatic weapons, and that's how everything started burning down.
Did you?
What's that?
Did you notice that she started to say one of my high school friends?
Yeah. Yep, I caught that. And
It's
she
so.
did say college, though, from back when it happened, I believe.
Huh?
Back when it happened, I believe she did say that the person was a friend or a roommate from college, I think.
Okay, well, I have a video that I just got that she said she doesn't have friends. So,
Yeah.
it was a video that was done in the beginning when she started her channel.
Oh,
And
yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I tend to believe that video over her claiming to have friends that know anything about the riots. That's just my opinion, though.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't know. I have a hard time believing, too, that she still talks to those friends for this long. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, how can you go and say that you don't have any friends? Any friends
Mm-hmm.
because of your child, right? And your
Oh,
situation.
yep, yep.
A
Because
little
it was
over
too difficult for, yeah.
Yeah, almost 2 years ago. And now you have all these friends coming out of the woodwork.
Yep. Yeah, and back then it was too difficult for them to deal with. Like they didn't want to hear about it, or they didn't, they just almost she almost explains it in a way like they carried on with their life and left her behind.
Right. I mean, she
I
was
don't.
pretty resentful in that video,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep.
I would feel the same way if anyone tried to overthrow the government. Don't be so ignorant. If Biden incited this, I would be, of course, speaking out. You don't break into the Capitol with guns blazing, with bombs. Oh my God. You guys are brainwashed about Antifa. Antifa wasn't there today. Black Lives Matter is not a terrorist organization. Black Lives Matter exists because of terrorists like the Proud Boys and because of all these other terroristic organizations that have put them into such a position where they feel like there's no one standing up for them. And every single human, every woman, every child, every white person should be supporting Black Lives Matter. It's logical to condemn what happened. Yeah, exactly, Jennifer. Most people are done with this. Most Republicans are speaking out again. In Minneapolis, the Black Lives Matter protesters, they were out peacefully during the day. All of the people that were protesting for George Floyd's murder, they were not the ones that were rioting. They were not the ones that were I know, I'm not saying all of us. I'm just saying the people that are brainwashed. I'm sorry, I see a lot of you are. Yeah, and then that was another thing I was thinking about. They broke into the Capitol to the point that now think of this, how many people are going to end up with COVID because of what happened today. Did they arrest someone today? Was it a white supremacist? I wouldn't. It was Proud Boys. He told them to stand up and stand down. And it took bloodshed to get the Republicans to stop and say, oh, maybe we shouldn't do this. Do you know every social media platform removed his video that he made today? Twitter even banned him for 12 hours, and they're considering a permanent ban of President Trump. A permanent ban because he incited violence today. It's stand up and stand down. Stand by and stand down, or something like stand down and stand by. They were waiting for this. I can't. If a Republican or a Democrat did this, I wouldn't be okay with this. I'm not okay with this kind of behavior. Oh, yeah, the Minneapolis one, there was a lot of white supremacists here. The KKK was in Northeast Minneapolis. He called the people that were storming the Capitol today special people, good people. Do you remember in Charlotte when the white supremacists mowed down and killed a woman? Remember that? He called those people good people too. He called white supremacists good people. I love this democracy. I love my freedom. I don't care what political party you're a part of. What did his tweet say? Which one? He had like 3 tweets banned today. Today, one of his videos was banned because he said that the election was stolen. He said that he loved the people that were at the he loved the people that were like breaking into the Capitol. He said that he loved them. And he only made it because he had to. He's banned for 12 hours. Yeah, he did. He said, you are loved. And the thing I was thinking about was at all of these rallies and all of these protests this summer, when it was Black people that were protesting, they had tear gas, they had gunshots, they were getting like tasered. There was none of that today. Nothing. They were like walking out of they had terrorists breaking into the Capitol, and there was a police officer holding one of their hands, walking them down the steps of the Capitol.
Okay, I take a big issue with her calling protesters terrorists, because if that's the case, then shouldn't it extend to all protesters? And if that's the case, also, furthermore, why would we have a right to assemble as one of our constitutional rights if the right to assemble makes us terrorists? I mean, I get the riot, or like protests can turn into riots or go too far. I get that. But I mean, it's never started off that way. It started off as just to, show your, I don't know, displeasement, whatever, just to show what that you're demanding change and everything. But I mean, the protest isn't used as a means to assert your will politically on a country. I mean, so I take big issue with the phrase terrorist in this regard. I don't know.
If this would have been, why were the white protesters treated differently? They're being more violent. Where was the pepper spray today? Where was the National Guard? Do you know that they called on the National Guard? And did you know that Trump denied the request? They asked for the National Guard to come to the Capitol, and Trump denied it. And you know why the National Guard finally got there? The National Guard was approved by who? Mike Pence. You like seeing them scared? Jessica, they could have been murdered today. Would that have made you feel good? Because they're corrupt? Does that deserve murder? You like seeing them scared. Are you sadistic? That's really disturbing. I don't like seeing anyone scared. Governor Christie, one of Trump's like longtime supporters, basically called him out today. Well, then you shouldn't say something so stupid that you liked seeing them getting scared, because you know what? Those people were storming the Capitol to murder those people. That's not funny. It's not cute.
What's
that?
Were they going there to murder them? Is that what they said? Did the people say they were going there to murder them? Because I didn't watch it, so I'm ignorant here. I'm counting on you guys to tell me. Did these people say they were going to murder the people inside?
See, here's the thing. I don't think so. However, there are absolutely, especially like on the new social media app Parler or whatever it's called, there are absolutely all kinds of posts and everything that are questionable. But the thing is, so I mean, it is someone who's been like kind of lurking around the anti-vax groups and everything for like the past 3-4 years. There's been a rise in the conspiracy theories and everything in these groups. And one of the big conspiracy theories is the whole QAnon thing. And it's these people who are mostly and largely making any of these, statements, whether it be verbally or on social media. It's not like your average, it's not even like your average, like, don't tread on me person. It's your extreme QAnon people who are making comments like this. So, I mean, they say, when it comes to stuff like that, I mean, I don't know how serious you can take them. However, you have to take them serious, because the one time you don't could be fatal. But I don't think at all, by and large, that was the protesters' intention. I think maybe a very small percentage of the group were kind of hoping things would escalate that far. But I don't think there was any like solid plan put in place. But I don't know. I could be wrong.
Well, it kind of feels like to me, this is just my opinion, but like I said, I didn't watch. I haven't heard anything about it except for from what I've watched from her and what's on social media. But it would seem to me, if they wanted to kill every single person that was there, if that was their intent, they would have killed many, many more. You know what I mean? Before they were stopped. So to me, that makes me question her statement.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, the behavior, though extreme and violent, and destructive, they had opportunity to murder people and they didn't. So, their behavior alone would suggest otherwise. So, barely. Then you see pictures or whatever of them having built like gallows, or I think they're called, like down on the grass or whatever. But I mean, were they really, do people really think that they were building things to hang our government officials on? And did they really think that they were going to do this, or was it just like something for show? I don't know. The thing is, though, is even if it was all for show, at some point gatherings like that do escalate. I mean, mob mentality does take over. So it has to be taken seriously. But I don't think at all that it was intended that they were there to murder everyone. I mean, I don't know. Again, though, I could be wrong.
Okay.
But I don't know. It just seems like an awfully extreme reaction because your guy didn't win. I mean, especially when it's not like Iran or anything here. So I don't know.
Yeah, but we're in extreme times again. Like I said, I mean, we are. So we are having more extreme reactions.
Yeah, that's true.
We have, with everything that's happened in the last year, look at all the reactions. You know?
Yeah, it's true. I mean, I don't know. It just still seems like such a huge jump though, leap to take. I mean, to make that assessment and with any confidence, you know, but it's possible. It's absolutely possible.
These people keep requesting to go live with me. I'm happy Pence is safe too. Nobody deserves to be murdered. It's okay, Jess. Just think about like what you're saying. It's not funny to say that it's good to make someone scared. That's like a horrible thing to say. These are people's fathers, their mothers, their sisters, their brothers, they're somebody's parent. These are people that literally just went to work. Their aides are people that went to work just to go to work that day. Like, don't wish fear on people. That's like so sadistic. Oh, it was great to see them scared. No, it's not good to see anyone scared. Yeah, if you aren't disgusted by this, I don't know what to say. And I don't hate Trump supporters because a lot of my friends that are Trump supporters are not okay with this. And you guys, you know what? If you're a Trump supporter or if you were a Trump supporter until today, it's okay to be disappointed. It's okay. You don't have to stick up for him. You don't have to support him. I'm not calling people white based on anything, Ariel. Stop playing that game. Stop trying to insert racism that isn't here. I know plenty about a lot of things. No, I'm not just a drama channel. You're ignorant if you even believe that I'm just a drama channel. I'm a college educated woman that spent 16 years in corporate America. Like I know more than just what's going on with the Duggar tea. I'm not going to stay out of politics, Laura. Don't follow me. I didn't call. I said today the protesters that were breaking in were predominantly white. It's the truth. Ariel, do you just want to troll? Are you a Trump supporter? Do you love him? Do you want to like? Well, Ariel, you're getting hidden, so goodbye. Who am I calling names? The people that are terrorists? Yeah, I'll call them terrorists all day. So I can't talk about a serious topic because it makes you guys uncomfortable. Well, you know what made me feel uncomfortable today? Watching people break into the Capitol and try to murder people. That made me uncomfortable. Like, that made me feel uncomfortable. It made me feel uncomfortable.
See, this is what I don't get. I mean, it's her channel. She can talk about whatever she wants, and people can either choose to listen or not choose to listen. That's their right. And she can sit there and say, "Listen, okay, fine. You guys don't like the topic. Sorry, it's my channel. I'm going to continue. You know, maybe I'll see you next time," and leave it at that. But she keeps arguing with her viewers, and she keeps this dialogue going, this back and forth of trying to like beat them into submission. I mean, just why do you care? It's your channel. If you want to speak, then no one's silencing you. Go ahead and speak. Why do you care that much that people aren't happy about what you're saying? You know, I mean, I don't know. It's just
Well,
I don't get it.
it's like she's a dictator. She's
Yeah.
acting like a dictator.
Mm-hmm. No, and
That
it's not enough that people will just either stay there and listen or leave. No, she wants to make them stay there and listen and be happy about it.
it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's what she's turned into.
Yep.
You know what I mean? You don't like what I'm saying, then get the fuck out. Then don't follow me. She's done that. Like, my God, how many people are you going to scream at and make them leave you or fucking block? Like, you're not going to have any, like, I'm shocked. I'm shocked. There's no possible way. I'm not even going to say it. I'm just shocked she has anybody left. I'll put it that way.
Yeah. And I mean, if you're going to be on YouTube, especially if you want to be successful at it and have a large platform, you have to approach the comments, whether it's live stream or otherwise, you have to approach them kind of like someone approaches like AA, you know, like you have to surrender to a higher power, almost like to the comment gods or whatever. Just accept the fact that you cannot control it. Repeat the serenity prayer if you have to, because you can't control it, and don't let it affect you. Know when to just look away and ignore them. You know,
but she doesn't have that in her. Erin, she doesn't have that in her. We've seen, she's proven to us that she can't. She can't.
Yep.
That's why she doesn't like Emily. She can't control her. She doesn't like Salty. She can't control him. She goes off about people that she can't make act a certain way or agree with her. It's insane. And it's gotten much worse.
Yeah. Like she when she made that video addressing T-Spiracy for the record label thing. Towards the end there, one video she says, so yeah, T-Spiracy, it's fine. I don't care that you released the video, but now that you know whatever, just correct the information. And it's like she's saying this as though she has some rationalized reason to expect her request to be listened to. And she doesn't. That's just not. What makes you think that you should get what you're asking for? And what makes you think she would give you this, or that she would have to? You know, and it's just, I don't get it. You know, she has to. She's like she wants to control the internet. She wants to control what's said on the internet, and that's just nuts.
She does. That's crazy. It's crazy. She does, and it's impossible. It's not gonna fucking happen, dude. She's gonna burn her channel to the ground. She's gonna go off and piss off. You can only Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde people so much, right? They're only gonna take so much abuse.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but I think it's gonna take a while. If that happens, I think it's gonna take a while because you know that saying, "There's a sucker born every minute" or whatever. I guess. I guess that kind of can apply here. For every sub that she loses, there's another sub waiting to start the whole roller coaster ride without a crystal ball, you know, and they're going to subscribe. You know, they could really be like one of her ride or dies for a while and then have a huge burnout, you know? I mean, there's always going to be another ride.
Feel uncomfortable that I'm a mom and I'm a wife, and there was other moms and wives at the Capitol that feared for their lives today. That made me uncomfortable. And I'm tired of being told and pigeonholed that I can't talk about things other than drama, because I was never just a drama channel, and I'm never going to be just a drama channel. And if people can't get on, like, it's so frustrating. You shouldn't talk about this. This is where I go to escape. When did I ever promise you that I wasn't going to talk about tough topics? If I see my American democracy under siege, I'm going to say something.
And she was going to say, and if people can't get on board,
the world that has hate.
She was going to say, and if people can't get on board.
Yeah.
If you don't get on board with what I'm saying, you can fuck off.
Yep.
And it's my constitutional right to speak out against the government. And it's my constitutional right to speak out against terrorism. And it's my constitutional right to speak out against the terrorist that is our president. Like,
but it's not your constitutional right to have a willing, eager, and happy audience for it all.
Exactly. Exactly.
Oh my God! Like,
have you
how dare
ever?
you not sit here and let me talk like this? You know, I mean, it's this entitlement.
You know what's funny is the president is still the president for how many days? How many days?
Like 2
The
weeks or
president
something.
the president could have you arrested for speaking about him this way.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Well,
It could. Yeah, the arrest could happen. Absolutely. Yeah.
it could happen.
Mm-hmm.
She should respect the president while he's still in power. I mean, it really, I
Well,
don't, I can't even say that, but whatever. Do you know what I
I
mean? She
mean,
should be careful with what she says.
well, I mean, I don't know about that. I mean, yeah, I mean, if you don't want any backlash, you should. Anyone who doesn't want backlash should be careful and everything. I mean, she does have a right to speak this way about the president, regardless who he is, whether it's Obama or whether whatever. But
She
it's just,
does.
but yeah, you're right though. I mean, I never thought about that. I mean, yeah, he's got like days, literally days left. I mean, I doubt he would, bother himself or whatever with her. But I mean, yeah, I mean, he's got like nothing left to lose. Is that really someone you want to keep poking?
Well, and she was all about he's going to prison, he's going to prison.
Yeah.
Treason.
Yeah.
Who did she say he was going to die? She said somebody was going to die. Can't remember who though.
I don't know. I'm gonna listen for that.
Like, he should not even be our president anymore. He's so dangerous for our country. He is going to destroy our democracy, and that's what he wants. He lost the election, and so he's going to do his best to destroy everything. He wants to destroy the country so that when he leaves, it's left in. I mean, if he could have burnt that Capitol down today, he probably would have. If he could put this entire country up in flames right now, he probably would. He's a psychopath. And if he's not arrested when he gets out of office, I'll be like furious. I'll be like pounding tables. What he did today was illegal. And if it were any other country, if a dictator pulled this shit, he would be imprisoned. Imagine if this was Saddam Hussein doing this. How would you guys feel if it would have been Saddam doing this? Because it's basically the same kind of shit that Saddam Hussein pulls. He's no different than those dictators. He didn't get what he wants, so he's trying to overthrow the government so he can get what he wants. He might as just name him Vladimir Putin. It's really the same. Well, people were breaking into the Capitol and a woman was killed. Donald Trump was eating his lunch like nothing happened. He'll be in prison. He will not be running in 2024. I guarantee you he'll be in prison. He will never be allowed back. He'll be in prison. He will end up in prison. I guarantee you. This is why he doesn't want to get out of office, because he knows prison is coming. Other countries are horrified by what happened today. One of my good friends,
Stina Marie says, I want to see live footage of Katie when YouTube kicks her out. She'll have members breaking into YouTube headquarters.
Oh God.
Oh my, that is the funniest thing ever.
Oh God. How much do we have left? I don't even know. It's almost over though.
friends is a voted for Trump, and I have been texting with her all day long, and she's horrified. Trump for prison. No, the Democrats didn't do anything today, Pink. Okay. I know, lock him up. Seriously. I want to tell you guys something. If you're a Republican, I still respect you. I don't hate you. I want the Republican Party to go back to what it was before Trump. Fiscal conservatives that weren't assholes. That was it. You know? Like, I want my George Bush Republicans back. Yeah. Yeah, we want a party before Trump. Exactly. There's a lot of Republicans that are not Trumpers, like the Lincoln Project. Those people are amazing. If anything else, this is going to bridge some of that divide, and some of these people that were going to oppose this vote are going to vote to elect Biden. So, but don't be fooled. There's been 4 years of misinformation. You've been brainwashed. You don't know you're brainwashed. You'll figure it out in like a year or two. I didn't call any of you guys assholes. Bernie is still the man. He sure is. Like, you know, who would be freaking out right now? John McCain. Remember when John McCain was dying? This tells you what kind of scumbag Trump is. John McCain was dying, and Trump was not calling him, like, you know, a traitor, not really an American, not really a war hero, a man that was a prisoner of war who served for our armed forces more than Trump has ever done, a man that served as a senator for decades, was berated. He called John McCain a traitor. John McCain would be like turning over in his grave right now. I miss John McCain too. He was a Republican I respected. Well, you know what heroes don't do? You know what non-heroes do? They don't avoid the draft like Donald Trump. They don't avoid their service like he should have been. He's 74. He should have been at Vietnam, but he wasn't. He dodged the draft. So Trump is not a hero. I know on his deathbed, he taunted John McCain. Taunted him. And then you know what he did? He pardoned soldiers that murdered innocent civilians in Iran and Iraq. A massacre. Was it Kuwait, Iran, Iraq? These brutal murders that had no place for murder. He literally pardoned them. He pardoned every single person that got like a conviction under the Russian investigation. Yeah. He's a coward. Iran. Okay, thank you. He pardoned those guys. They should not have been pardoned. Oh, and Mitch McConnell's a hypocrite. Mitch McConnell sat on President Obama's pick for the Supreme Court because he wanted the new president to have the opportunity to pick, being that Obama was a lame duck and wasn't going to be in there anymore. But then when Mitch McConnell had the same opportunity to sit on wait, he rushed in someone because I feel like they knew that they were going to use the Supreme Court to try to overturn the election. I don't watch just one source. I watch a zillion different sources. Well, I don't care if all politicians are corrupt. Not all politicians are. You need to know what our sources are. Oh, I'm lying. Everything I'm saying is a lie because someone on YouTube told you, Meg. Someone on YouTube said I lied, so everything I say is a lie. Fake news. Okay. Mad about coupons. Get a job. All right, you guys, I'm out.
Okay, that's it.
She's so fucking rude.
Mm-hmm.
She acts like a little child. She really does.
Why didn't that person have a job? Because they're mad about coupons? I mean,
they actually probably are smart and have a lot of fucking money, right? Because they saving money. Those coupon people fucking know how to get down.
One of my friends from high school does that. Oh my god, I see her posting. It's wow.
Right. They get down. Crazy, crazy, crazy. So, Katie wants to be a journalist, a real journalist, and she gets pissed that people call her a tea channel, even though she sells merch with the tea bullshit on it.
Right.
And she gets mad because people call her a tea channel.
Mm-hmm.
And she lashes out because she's better than the Duggars or the Duggar content.
Yep. Yeah. I'm not just, yeah, I love that. I'm a college educated woman who spent 16 years in corporate America. I'm not just a T channel. Okay. But you're not really covering politics right here. You're just venting and like drowning everyone in your emotions. You're not discussing politics.
I don't think she could have a discussion about politics. I think she would lose her shit.
Mm-hmm. I think so too.
I don't think she can have a discussion about much, honestly, unless she can control the narrative. Like,
right.
I would love, I'll like invite her to come onto my channel and have a discussion with me. I will promise not to call her names. I will be clear and concise and nice. And she wouldn't do it. I'll bet you anything she wouldn't do it.
No, she wouldn't. I mean, I think with someone who likes to control the narrative so much, you kind of have to lay down some ground rules and like possibly even like a third party channel. But each person has like 3 minutes to talk of whatever, while the other person's microphone is muted, because otherwise she's not going to give anyone like more than 10-15 seconds to talk, and she's just going to keep butting in, and then the second you do it to her, it's going to be, oh, I can't even talk, why are you interrupting me, I already gave you, you know what I mean? That's what it's going to be like. So you kind of have to guarantee that you will also have time to talk.
I would totally do that. I would totally do it. I would love to do it.
I don't think she would, but yeah.
I have too much fucking evidence, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Yeah.
she says that I'm who I am because I've been collecting evidence. She's scared of the evidence I have.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, she tends to look evidence right in the face oftentimes and just flat out deny it, like it's not real, it doesn't exist or whatever. But yeah, she knows that she would more than have met her match though with you.
Well, the videos are coming out. I mean, it's happening. We're doing it. We've been doing
Right.
it. She's giving us so much stuff, though. I mean, we need to really focus on the mission and just getting it out so I can shut the group down. I really want to shut the group down. I really am tired of that narrative. You know what I mean? Like
Right. I know.
it bothers me because she's questioning my character and every member's character.
Right.
And she has no evidence to do that.
Right. Yeah. And if anything, I think she kind of ends up blowing her shit up on herself. I mean, I'm sorry, I don't care what anyone says, but those voices and that Christopher's video there that he put together of her friend Darcy that was on the other day, and the phone calls to the brewery. I don't care what anyone. I think it's the same freaking person. I don't know.
I
And
do. I do also.
and again, we never would have heard that voice. We never would have considered this. But Katie had her friend on her show. And
Right.
you know this they was set up ahead of time too, to kind of give some narrative or back up Katie's like, I'm not a racist claims, because the other white suburban woman is exactly who you want to, verify that for you. It's crazy. Anyways, so
It's
she
always
did it.
planned.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
She did it to herself, though.
Yeah, exactly.
It's funny if you once you realize it and you really just sit back and watch. Like once you see the patterns and you really just sit back and watch, it's
Mm-hmm.
really mind-blowing. Like she should have been an actress. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Cuz she can fucking yeah. I mean, if you sit back and watch, I mean, I still like there's been times over the last couple weeks that I've felt sorry for her. Like I've been sucked into that shit. She's good. I'm telling you, her and Uni, man, her and Uni, if they ever get divorced, they need to get together and they need to like Jim and Tammy Faye. They needed to like just do it. Go out and
Mm-hmm.
hit the fucking circuit and yeah, they could get rich, really, really rich.
Yeah, I think they would be pretty, I don't know, pretty successful grifters. I mean, in my one blog post I wrote, I kind of compared like a lot of her thinking or actions to the anti-vax community and everything. And I said at the end, I said, however, she's not an anti-vaxxer, and it's a good thing because she'd probably be a very successful one.
She went against them. She just brought that up in that other video.
Yeah, yeah, that annoyed. I mean, that just annoyed me because she didn't offer any information or any sources even. I mean, because like myself, like her, neither one of us are doctors, so we really shouldn't be advising anyone on vaccines. That's just the way it is. Talk to your doctors if you have any questions. That's who you should listen to. However, when she says these things and makes these claims, and I mean, I know them to be true, but her viewers won't know that to be true. Some of them won't. So at least offer sources where they can go and read about it themselves, like the CDC, whatever the case may be. Just to come out and say, well, no, listen, that's not true. That's not true. And just don't believe that. It makes it sound like you're hiding something about the statement and therefore raises suspicion. Offer sources for people to see for themselves. That's what it really annoyed me about that.
Well, that's what you and I do though. I mean, I typically will talk about whatever video she's done and I will typically put whatever evidence that's in the group onto the Instagram. Like we back up whatever we say, other than
Right.
what our opinions are. But I don't really have an opinion about anything except for her attitude and her words, right?
Right.
Like I don't give opinion about how she looks or
Right.
um
Right.
I'm really, really I get so offended people talking about her uh and I don't want to get anybody upset in the chat, but it's hard for me as an addict in recovery to see people speculating on if she is or if she isn't, because I know how harmful that can be, you know? And
Yeah,
so I try to put that out there. I try to say why. Why is that harmful?
I mean, that kind of bothers me at times because I mean, what if she was, and what if it's true? I mean, it just is she lesser than? I mean, why talk down to her for something like that? That's how I feel about it. But I mean, in the same respect, um, she does exhibit behavior like that, and if it's, I mean, if it were me, and if I were exhibiting behavior like that, but I wasn't, using or whatever, I kind of want to know how it was coming across so I can maybe try to correct that. So,
Yeah, but she
but that's
doesn't care. She
just
doesn't
me.
care.
Yeah, I know.
She doesn't
I
want to
know.
know.
I know.
I feel like okay, so all these people have went against her and they talk about this. And what if like I didn't know I was an alcoholic when I was an alcoholic, right?
Right.
And
Yeah.
I had to come to a point where I was driving down the road and I was done, right? I asked God to take my life. Either change something. Like I hit my knees and was like, I'm done. Like I need you to do something. And I say God, my higher power is like the universe, right?
Hmm.
I just use God as because it's in the big book.
Right.
But I had to have that moment, and most people have to have that moment.
Hmm.
A lot of people don't get that moment because their family steps in, right? And
Yeah.
forces them to go get help or whatever. And they haven't had their moment. But I know a lot of people that have had that moment that I've had, and they've been clean for a very long time. I just feel like she could be being robbed of that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I know. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah. And you're right. I mean, you have to want it, and you have to be made to want it almost, or be left to end up to want it. I don't know, but yeah, you have to get there to yourself.
Right. Nobody can in the big book it talks about you can't diagnose anybody with alcoholism. I don't know if that's not the verbiage it says, but it's kind of like if you think about it, like you can't diagnose me if I'm sick, you're not a doctor, right? It's the
Yeah,
same type of thing if you think about it that way. You
right.
know?
And also too, I mean, like if you're not an expert or in the field, like like a doctor or whatever, you're also going to have a biased view of it because of your experience with it. So if you see any of similar or same behaviors in someone else, you're going to more than likely think that there's a problem because that's what you've seen with yourself. You're going to associate that. I think. I don't know.
Well, and I can see the behavior. I can see why people say what they say.
Right. Right.
I get it. But for me, it's I I see that behavior in a lot of people,
Right.
and
Yeah.
really all I can do is ask the universe how I can be helpful to them, right?
Right.
That's
And
why I try to show Katie so much grace.
yeah, and you can't go wrong with that. I mean, you can, like you were saying, like we were talking about earlier about withholding comments or whatever. You can always decide to say what it is you were planning to say, but you can't take it back. So you can't take back the damage or harm you might do to someone, with assumptions and comments, whatever. But you can always wait and say them later if you want. So I don't know. It
I
makes
feel
sense.
like yeah, I feel like if you okay, so so I'm in the recovery thing, so I'm going to come from there. But, when I'm the type of person that if I am asked to chair a meeting, right? And that's going and sharing your story in front of a group.
Mhm.
And I will like pray and meditate. I don't think about it. So, I've had a long life. So my story is long and there's lots of different aspects of it. And I just ask to be, whatever needs to be said. And I just go say it. So I don't have a store. Like, you could come and see me chair a meeting and it would never be the same, right? Whereas some
Yeah.
people, you will go hear them chair a meeting and you can say it word for word, right?
Right. Yeah.
It's just, in that situation, off the cuff is better for me. Some people are not
Right.
capable of that, right?
Mm-hmm.
I find people that are not necessarily truthful have a hard time with that. And we've witnessed that with
Mm-hmm.
the person we're talking about right now.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely. It's hard to keep track of the different, story variables and everything that you tell along the way.
Right. That's where the patterns come in, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to read any comments in the chat? I haven't been
Um,
looking, so.
I haven't been looking a whole lot. I mean, I was, but then I haven't looked in a minute or two. Let's see. Does anyone have any questions or anything? I mean, if you asked a question earlier and it went scrolling up, maybe type it again if you don't mind.
If you want to say something, if you want to say something, you can tag me in it, make it orange, and that way
Yeah.
I'll see it. I need to remember to start saying that on everyone.
Yeah. Crystal pointed out, Tina, congratulations on your recovery. And I just want to say that too. Congratulations, because I it's not easy. I know it's not easy. And it's something to be proud of. So
Thank you. Yeah,
yeah.
I think about, so I've been sick, so I'm pretty much locked in my house anyway. Nothing's really changed, but I think about all the people right now and all the people that are like drinking themselves to death, that
Yeah.
because I have a lot of, I'll get emotional. I have a lot of friends that got loaded because of the pandemic, right? So
Yeah.
I worry about them every day. And I just think about all the people that, like, they know they can call me and they have this family, this recovery family, but I think of all the people that didn't make it into recovery before this happened, that doesn't have that phone list, if you will. And it breaks my heart. I can't imagine the suffering that's going on right now, you know?
Yeah.
So I want to eventually do a stream about it. Kind of share my story and whatnot. I have people in the group that are in recovery, and um but I think it's an important topic, and it's a topic because it's brought up so much with Katie, and I don't agree with it, but if I don't share my truth about why I don't agree with it, and how it can be harmful, and really explain it, people aren't going to know, and it's not going to stop. Maybe somebody in the chat will hear tonight that this can be harmful, and maybe that will stop. That narrative will be taken away. Because obviously we all know that she's got bad behavior and she's got something going on. You know? I
Yeah.
think it's ego. Really? Ego. She's got a
I think,
huge.
yeah, I think it's entitlement. I don't know. I think that's behind a lot of things. So what the hell do I know, really?
um
And I think it's a great idea too for you to do a stream where you share your story and everything. I mean, I think that'd be I great for you, but I more importantly, I think it'd be great for listeners. I mean, because like you said, it's this time of this year and everything we've gone through, and I think looking at my analytics and everything, and your channel's analytics are probably similar. The majority of our followers are female and are between like the ages of like 35 and 45 or something like that. So I mean, you're talking about a year of the pandemic where everything's all flipped upside down and everything. And a lot of these women are probably, mothers, and probably possibly even stay-at-home mothers. And now they have the kids home and everything. It's enough. I remember I had 2 kids under 2 and I had a 7-year-old, and that, oh my God, those were so hard those years. I would have loved a community where I didn't have to leave the house or whatever to talk to and listen to, and at times in my life to turn to. So I think, I don't know, I think that would be awesome. So
I'll have to, yeah. I've it's been good to I've recorded a couple things about it. You know, I've read out of the big book a little bit and people have really liked that. So, yeah, it's just all about doing it. I did a recording. I wanted to read a chapter because Katie always makes me think of different chapters, right, in the book
mhm,
and it's crazy how I relate it. So it's kind of been good for me because I've really been reading my book a lot lately
yeah.
and that's always really good for me. It puts me in a good place. Um, let me see. There was a thing. I don't know how to say. I'm so bad at pronouncing names that I don't think I see it now.
Oh, Tina, that's Tina Brem. Thank you for the super chat. But that's so. Oh, I love your comment. My first live. Love your videos. My daughter had addiction to heroin. Got help. 2 relapses. Then 8 months inpatient. So proud of her. Sober 2 years. That's awesome.
That
Oh
is
my God.
awesome. That makes me
Yes,
so happy.
we're proud of your daughter too.
It's hard right now to be clean or sober, you know. It's really hard. It's a very people in recovery we're very when you're really in it, like you're in it, you know, you do it and it's your life. And with this, like they have meetings online, but they're not having in places that are shut down, they're not having a lot of meetings. So it's got to be very hard for them to be people to feel so isolated. And I'm really
Yeah,
bad about making phone calls. Like I'm horrible. I've checked on a couple of my friends this week and it's just hard. It's hard to hear that people aren't doing well, and, you know, it just brings
yeah.
more into it.
Um, Someone asked a question. I'm gonna let you answer it though, because they tag me that says, "My only concern with Tina sharing her story is I am concerned Katie would use something as vulnerable as Tina's recovery to hurt her, or at least try to." I think I know how they would be answered, but I think you should answer it though.
Oh, here's the thing, I'm very honest and open, and my story can't cause me harm. So, I didn't break any laws. Like, I was a very functioning alcoholic, and um I had a business and I you would have never known, right? Only the people closest to me knew. So there's nothing that can be used against me. If she wants to talk about my recovery or maybe I mean I've already I'm very open about saying that I'm an addict. So I'm sure she already knows that. And you know, I 3913 is the last time. So I've got time. She's tried to, well, I believe uh, I've had people try to manipulate me because of it, because of the spiritual path. Because really, I shouldn't, you know, thinking about it, it's none of my business what Katie does. But I've seen her hurt people. So
Mhm.
it's do I let the bully win or do I not, right? And it's just I look at recovery as whatever you can live with. If I can live with it and it doesn't affect me like in a bad way and I'm not causing somebody harm on, you know, on
Right.
purpose, then I'm cool. I have Katie blocked. Like unless Katie comes searching me out, she's blocked. So she doesn't know what I say. Like, I don't go and comment behind the block. I don't do that. I don't do the things she said. So I'm not causing her harm. Now, she knows that I'm against her, right? Or whatever you want to call it. Um, so if she comes and listens to me, that's her choice. She's causing herself harm, right? I mean,
Yeah,
do you get what I'm saying?
I think too. I mean, when someone, surrenders, get the power, and stops trying to control it, their addiction or whatever, they kind of they open up about it. So I mean, if you don't talk about it, is in a way, isn't it kind of like trying to exert your control over it still? I mean, to keep it secret. I mean, I'm not saying you have to go and advertise and shout it from the rooftops or whatever, but to actively prevent other people from learning about it because of how that might affect you. I don't know. I'm not. I think that might be could cause some harm, anyways, with the process. I could be wrong. I mean, I don't know.
Oh, I get what you're saying. I feel like so I feel like this. So in the literature it talks about like we're supposed to be anonymous, right?
Hmm.
So but the literature came before social media. The literature came before the pandemic.
Hmm.
So if you're anonymous during this pandemic, then you can't help people. Do
Right.
you know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I can help people if they reach out and need help. Like I try to be there for them.
And I
I do.
mean, more than anything, too, if anyone were to break your balls about this, I mean, really? I mean,
They
that would
can't.
they'd be such an asshole. I mean,
Well, and
I don't
really they
know.
can't. People can only do they can if you give them power,
Right.
right?
Yeah. Exactly. Yes.
They don't have any power over me. Do you know the things that Katie's said about me? Like
Oh yeah. Well.
it's it's devastated me at times because I know my character. So it has caused she's caused me harm. Um, but that's okay. Like I don't try to let it bother me. You know, I have to ask how can I be helpful to her? Now, I don't think she would think that what I'm doing is helpful to her, but I'm trying to be helpful to the community by showing what she's done, right?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
So I'm being helpful to other people. I don't know. I mean, you know, there's always the
I mean,
whatever.
I see Raymond's point. I mean, I have no doubt if she could successfully use it against you, she absolutely would. Um, I don't think that this is something really she could use against you.
No. I mean, I've already been doxxed. I've been scared to death, right?
Hmm.
But there's really nothing else she can do to me. Like I live a pretty simple life, right? I don't know. I've never been to prison. I've never been to jail. I haven't committed crimes. Well, I was arrested when I was young, but that's okay. Like,
Many of us.
I got busted shoplifting. I was loaded. So, but I didn't go to jail. I went to the police station and got my my mugshot taken. But that scared me straight because at the time, I had family that was in prison and I didn't want to go down that path. Like that saved my life. I'm
Yeah.
very grateful it happened. Sue M says same, boring, no record.
Me neither. Well, traffic violations, but I mean, who doesn't have those really?
Nobody's going to be perfect.
Right, exactly. Thank you, Tiny Dancer. Yay. This is, I don't know, this is like, I think my fifth super chat. Pretty
It's
cool. Thank
awesome.
you. Yeah.
I've been I don't know how many members we're at yet. So with the channel, and I don't know how I'm gonna figure this out, and I think the community can think about it and the group. I don't want to make money on the channel. So like I would like to pay for my computer and stuff if I ever do, but I would want to donate to everything and be completely open about it because I'm not doing this to make money. You know what I mean?
That's awesome.
That's not that's not my thing. That's not what I'm doing it for. And I'm not saying anything bad about it, but I can't. Katie said you make money off my name, you know. I don't want her to be able to say that about me.
Oh, thank you, Crystal. Wanted to say thanks to Erin and Tina. Love this chat and meeting new people. Awesome, thank you. Yeah, when she says that though, making money off of her name. I mean, we're not setting up the situation. We're not making her do and say the things she's doing. We're not making her, I guess you could say, newsworthy, whatever. So we're effectively doing the same exact thing she's doing, because she's not making the topic she covers, newsworthy. She just sees something that she thinks is newsworthy, and she's, her judgment has been pretty good in that regard, and it's paid off well. So really, how are we doing anything different? I mean,
well, and I think about, she made a lot of her money off children.
Yeah.
You know, it's really, I don't know. I've been thinking about it. The Duggars all have YouTube channels, so they are all content creators. So doesn't that change something?
What do you mean? Well, for her, you mean, or?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, she's no longer covering reality TV. Then she's covering technically other content creators, other YouTubers. So yeah. Which, I mean, and I don't. Some people say, like, talk down to her if she were to cover, primarily other YouTube content creators. They say, they speak about it as if it's frowned upon, but I don't understand that. Maybe it's me, but
I don't understand it either.
I'm not saying that she should be going on YouTube and trying to, send people to, deplatform anyone. I'm not saying that, but if she were to cover them in the same way in which she's covered the Duggars or, the shows, I don't see why that would be wrong. I don't know. Because in a sense, aren't they kind of reality shows, like stars almost?
Yeah, I think they are.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm done, y'all.
Yeah, it's like 1:30 here, so I'm tired.
I will think about doing that. I think I want to get this one chapter read first, so out of the big book.
I think it's a great idea, so I don't know.
Y'all, leave comments and let us know what video should we do the apology tour still? Like, should that be our next one, or what videos you guys want to see?
Yeah, or even like if there's any scenario or event or whatever that's happened with Katie, like if you want to know more about the whole like Amber Portwood fiasco or whatever, anything like that, let us know too. I mean, we can spend a night or a live or two concentrating on that. Or something like that. I don't know. Yeah, let us know.
Somebody just said, do an interview with KJ. Send her an invitation to do a one-on-one interview. Well, it's always open. She's always welcome.
Absolutely.
I think Erin's idea was much better, though.
Yeah, I think that's how it would have to be done fairly, and it's just as fair to her as it is to you. I mean, she should want that as well, I would think. But
okay, the GoFundMe. I have a lot of stuff on that. We can do that.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I have all those comments.
There was this. Remember, you asked me earlier. You're like, I was supposed to collect or grab screenshots or something and post them on Instagram. I think that was it.
Okay.
So
okay, well, let's plan that. We'll do the GoFundMe then.
All right. Yeah,
okay,
that's a good idea.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.